So I've been reading, there's a gentleman called Larry Rosenberg, and he has written a book called Living in the Light of Death, and it's on the art of being truly alive. So, and I'll share that with you in the group as well. Anyway, I was just on the section, the chapter on illness is unavoidable. And just as I happen to have this cold, anyway, luckily, as I mentioned, this cold was quite mild. But I've also had a tricky week with my cycle. And I know I've shared with you before about the, lacking in energy. So my iron is too low, not anemic, but not enough. And obviously it's having an impact on functioning from day to day in the way that I'd like to. And it's interesting because in the past, I've always, if I've been poorly, I've tended not to meditate, which is interesting. I might listen to a talk or something with my eyes closed, and sometimes there might be a meditation within that. But I sort of felt that my meditation should be, sort of that more formal kind of sitting. I mean, obviously we do lying down meditations, but I sort of felt that it should be more formal. And it's been really interesting reading this. I suppose in one part is this understanding that, as I say, illness is unavoidable. And, actually to be ill is to be human. And it's interesting because I, on that sort of level, I started to look at, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we often, well, certainly in my mind, look at ill health as something that's wrong. And it's the language we use, isn't it? We talk about there's something wrong with me, or there's something, bad or wrong. And it's always about something to put right as well, to make better. Now, there's clearly a sense of us wanting to feel good and better and to enjoy life as much as we can. But I suppose there are times when that's really difficult, and whether it's a sort of cold, flu, virus, or something more long term, we tend to, not like any of it. It becomes a nuisance and all of those things. So it's been interesting reading this to sort of start to have a slightly different outlook, as in that this illness, say, is part of my experience and that it's part of me. It's not the whole of me, it's just something that exists as part of me. And then it's kind of, because I suppose, again, I'm sort of reflecting that when I've been ill, I'm often looking to the point when I'll feel better again. And we often talk about, oh, well, I hope you feel better soon. I'm sure tomorrow I'll feel a bit better. Or once I've had this treatment, surgery, etc., I'll be better. And I've been doing it again, the same with this sort of having this surgery and fantasizing, dreaming about, oh, when I get my energy back, it might not happen. But, I mean, and we've always got to have hope, but it still takes us away very much from the present moment. And so, what this chapter is leaning towards is this kind of, and some of his teachers through his journey, through Larry's journey, was that they talked about, meditating while you're sick, meditating while you're ill, and actually that it's a really amazing opportunity to practice, because you then learn something else about yourself or about your experience or about the moment. And I think there was even one phrase, again, perhaps with thinking about our meditation practice and how we can sometimes want it to be a certain way. We want to gain certain things from our practice. But really it's about practicing with what's here, and noticing the desire and the wish for things to be different, but keep coming back to, what are these sensations? What are these feelings? What are these thoughts? What am I noticing? So I found that very interesting for myself, to think, oh yes, of course I can practice while I'm sick, or whatever. And so that's been quite a comfort to me. And I do remember actually quite some time ago, and I do draw on this, was from Jon Kabat-Zinn, and he kind of talked about the beauty, I suppose, of mindfulness that we've often mentioned, is that you can practice anytime, anywhere, anyhow. And even if you're doing a lying down meditation, we don't have to be, sort of lying down, straight legs, straight arms. We can be, but actually there was a suggestion from Jon Kabat-Zinn that even if we're in the fetal position, and we're hunched up, scrunched up, all the blankets, cushions and everything, and we might drift off, and that's fine, that's what the body needs. But actually that's just a valid position to meditate in, if that's what's with us in that moment, if that makes sense. So this, going back to this quote in the book, I think this teacher said, well, meditate like you're a sick person, and when you're well again, you meditate like you're well again, so it's kind of taking into account how we are, what are my needs, and what will best serve me, and sometimes, when you're sick, a meditation might not serve you, and it might be that listening to a story which I did the other day, which was very pleasant, or a talk or something different, or having the silence, of course. So it's just this sense of kind of giving ourselves permission maybe to be how we are in the moment. So yeah. So perhaps, how would you feel now? Would you like to go into, I'm going to ask you, would you like to go into a meditation practice from that? Or would you like a little share? Or we can do the share after. Oh, I'm just thinking I might have, just in case you're trying to communicate with me. What do you think? Yeah? Good. Yeah, does that sound good? Lovely. Perfect. Let's do that then. Wonderful. So let's come into that comfortable position again. And actually, as we do the settling in, just taking a moment to check in with the body. Actually, does it need to be on the softer chair? Does it need an extra cushion? Does it need a blanket? Does the body need to recline, lie down, curl up? So yeah, just taking the first few moments just to check in with the body. Notice how you are. And what would best serve me? What would best serve the body in this moment? And so settling in, closing the eyes or holding a soft gaze. Taking a moment to feel your feet on the ground and your seat in the chair. Or feeling into all the parts of the body being supported by whatever you're seated upon. Feeling the breath in these parts of the body. And if it feels comfortable, taking a moment to breathe a little more deeply here. Just breathing in your own time, at your own pace. So using the deeper breaths just to help the body settle, the mind settle. Just helping to bring in a sense of soothing and relaxation into the muscles. And then letting go of the deeper breaths. Allowing the body to find its natural rhythm. And in this practice, we'll work a little bit with the second foundation of mindfulness, which is mindfulness of feelings and our ability to sit with what's pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. creating a sense of calm, balance, and equanimity. And we'll work with a sensation in a moment in a couple of different ways. So just to begin with, the invitation here is to scan through the body with your attention and find a sensation that is pleasant. Okay, so finding a pleasant sensation in the body. This might be an area of warmth, or where a particular part of the body is just nestled just right. It could be feeling the breath. And once you've found this pleasant sensation, just resting your attention there. And with your mindfulness, just becoming aware of what the sensations are within this pleasant sensation. What makes it pleasant? So gently naming, noting any sensations, feelings. So noting too how it is felt in the rest of the body. And when the mind wanders, just gently and kindly bringing the attention back to this pleasant sensation. Okay, so the invitation next is to scan through the body once more, but to find a sensation that is more unpleasant. So maybe you have an area of pain, discomfort, tightness, and aching, a pressure that's on the hard side. So we're going to spend a little bit of time with this unpleasant sensation, but through the practice we're also going to look at different ways of being with it. So staying with the practice as best you can, but obviously if there are times where you just need to shift away, just moving your attention back to your pleasant sensation, the breath, or opening your eyes, and then coming back to the practice when you're ready. So bringing your attention up really close to this unpleasant sensation, noting where it is in the body. And just as we did with the pleasant sensation, the invitation here is to become aware of the sensations amongst it. So gently naming, noting what's there. Is there a tugging, a heat, a sharpness? How big is it? How small is it? What direction does it go in? So as if we're really examining and exploring this unpleasant sensation, as if we're peeling back another layer, opening another door. What's this? What is this? We might start to notice how sensations move, change. They might intensify for a moment, they might wane. Just staying with the sensations as best you can. And in a sense, what we're learning is that these are sensations. They are not me. So this sense of discomfort, pain, illness is not who I am. It's part of my experience. So the invitation now is to bring in your breathing, so becoming aware of your breathing at the same time as being aware of these sensations in this particular part of the body that's uncomfortable. So we can start to get a sense of that there are other sensations, not just this painful sensation. So I am now aware of my breathing and aware of the unpleasant sensations. And then we can experiment a little here, if that feels okay. And just inviting in the pleasant sensation. So you have a sense of yourself breathing. You have an awareness of the unpleasant sensation. And you're now bringing in an awareness of the pleasant sensation. And then we can experiment a little bit further by opening up our awareness so that we become aware of all the different parts of our experience. Sounds, thoughts, feelings, sensations, and there, just somewhere in the midst, is this unpleasant sensation. And to see how big does it become? Is it able to reduce in size as we open up our awareness? Start to feel, sense, experience more. Maybe even seeing the bigger picture. Seeing even more clearly that this sensation is just a sensation. And in a sense, we can start to come to realize that it's our thoughts, our perceptions of the unpleasant sensation that make it what it is. We can also have a sense of this sensation being part of me. It's not the whole of me, but it's a part of me. And just with this, seeing if we can have the sense of allowing it to be here. It's part of me. It makes up part of who I am. It becomes part of my life, part of the way I live. Almost like we're including it rather than pushing it away. As much as it's unpleasant, it's okay to be here. And just spending a few more moments resting in open awareness. Or if you prefer, perhaps bringing your attention just to focus on your breathing, your pleasant sensation. And then perhaps all of us coming back to the breath together. Feeling the movement of the breath in the belly. As you breathe in, the belly rises. and sinks in on the out breath. Okay. And then together we'll notice the breath for a breath in and a breath out. And we'll bring this practice to a close. So taking your time as we gently shift from the practice back to this space that we're in. Gently bringing some movement to the body. Taking a moment to stretch. And opening the eyes when you feel ready. Taking in your surroundings. Lovely. So we'll thank you for your practice.